I've been representatives around here in South Carolina. Mitchell was on board. Lowe, he rather compromised the Constitution with his new open carry bill that the Senate pushed back to the with new amendments in it. One of the amendments is Amendment 36. So if you live in South Carolina, please go out there, call your local representatives, and tell them that you do not want Amendment 36. Mitchell said he's disgusted by it. It's a violation of the 14th Amendment. But yet, Lowe in the Florence County area clearly states that he rather have what they got and nothing at all. He keeps thinking that it's going to mess up constitutional carry. We already, concealed carry. We already have concealed carry here in South Carolina. What we don't have is a proper open carry law. How our law right now with open carry, it clearly states that you must have a concealed carry permit. You shouldn't have to ask permission from the government. Yes, the bill would cancel that, but with Amendment 36, what it clearly states in Amendment 36 is you are open carrying and you don't have a concealed weapon permit and you get caught breaking charge for not having a concealed carry permit. So it's a violation of the 14th Amendment where the bill says you don't have to have a permit, but if you don't have a permit and you get caught without the permit, you get a charge. So it's not equal protection underneath the law. Therefore, any of the crap that the Senate is putting on this bill is unconstitutional underneath the Bruin ruling. So, if you live here in South Carolina, call your representatives, tell them it is unacceptable what the Senate did. Then after that, call the Senate and tell them to get off their fucking asses and high horses and quit going against the Constitution. It is as simple as that. We have to speak up. Otherwise, our Second Amendment will be stripped like they're doing in California, Illinois, and if I'm mistaken, Michigan. Now Pennsylvania's doing it. Virginia's trying to ban assault weapons too. Virginia. All these states are trying to do assault weapon bans. What the fuck is an assault weapon? A weapon that looks militarized? Go ahead, take them. I'll go back to M1 Grant because it's got a wooden freaking stock like they want. And the bullet's 3 times bigger. Still semi-automatic. They don't want us to use little pew-pews, so let's get the big pew-pews and show them what the fuck we are. Because I'm tired of the Second Amendment. Repeat from the beginning again, please. What is happening in South Carolina? All right. We had an open carry bill going up to the, went from the representatives to the state at the beginning of the year, to the Senate at the beginning of the year. What it clearly states is we don't need a permission from the government to open carry. We got free training. And if you want to conceal carry, you still need a concealed carry permit, which honestly I kind of agree with, because if you're a law-abiding citizen, why fucking hide it? So when it went to the Senate decided to put in some amendments in it. And one of the amendments is Amendment 36. Amendment 36 clearly states that yes, you're allowed to open carry and conceal carry without a permit. But if you, let's say you're somebody and forgot to pay for something in Walmart, and it's an honest mistake, but you're open carrying. Well, based on the new law, since you don't have the permit of concealed carry, that you'll get a charge for not having a concealed weapon permit. So it's a violation of the 14th Amendment underneath the Equal Protection Clause. People without permit will get extra charges versus people who had the permit. All we need to do is have no permission, free trading, which is by the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment clearly states that we must be well trained and organized. So that's what I'm getting at. With the new one, you still have to ask permission. That's what's going on. That's what Bruin clearly states. It must follow history, tradition, and text during the founding era. And by the way, the founding era is 1792, not 1776, because the Constitution wasn't written until 1792. People don't know this. They automatically assume the Constitution was written with the Declaration of Independence. It was not. From 1776 and 1792, there was some unlawful laws out there on the Second Amendment, starting with Catholics couldn't have their Second Amendment right. Free slaves couldn't have their Second Amendment right. Stuff like that. But with Bruin, it pretty much made absolutely every single 1792, if I ain't mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was 2. Because I believe the people who talk about the Second Amendment shit more than I normally don't get up on and talk Second Amendment, but this is my state. But that's the issue we're having. Even if it was 1791, it's still from 1791 until the day that the founding fathers passed away, all of them. That's the founding era. Because after they passed away, we couldn't ask them anymore, hey, what did you mean by this? And honestly, they should have put it in fucking plain text English anyways. I mean, detailed, because it keeps these future tyrants away. Keep in mind, once the Second Amendment goes, First Amendment goes, your Third Amendment goes, your Fourth Amendment goes, your Fifth Amendment goes, all of them go. Because the Second Amendment's there to keep the government in check, knowing that the citizens that they're supposed to represent, not govern, they're supposed to govern the country's affairs, not the people. Once the Second Amendment goes, if you don't believe me, just look at history. If you look at history, the Nazis did it. Venezuela did it. When Ukraine got rid of their version of the Second Amendment, fucking Russia invaded. Just look at history. Yes, thank you. All right, thank you for looking it up, Leslie Sullivan. But this is the issue we have. Yeah, the Jim Crow laws were straight up unconstitutional. Hell, some of the blue laws are unconstitutional. But this is why we're having this chat. Please call your local representatives in South Carolina. I'm going to put some tags on here for South Carolina, Second Amendment, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm outside. It's fucking cold. It needs to be taken care of. We can't let the Senate ruin a perfect bill. After you call your representatives and the one in Florence, he said, I'd rather pass this bill because I've been fighting for 18 years. And that's Representative Lowe, okay? He'd rather have an unconstitutional, his exact words, because I made mention that if you pass an unconstitutional law, that the state can get sued. He says, oh, that's fine. The state gets sued all the time. And I was like, well, that's people like me have to pay for it. He goes, yes. So he don't care that the taxpayers has got to pay for unconstitutional rulings because it doesn't affect him. So better yet, when that mother goes back up for re-election, vote for the other guy, because Lowe will compromise the Constitution for his own gain. Why, Representative Mitchell in Dalton County area said no, he's not having it. So Mitchell, thumbs up, buddy. This is the guy you spoke to not too long ago. I'm going to tag your name in it too, so everybody knows in South Carolina, you're not having this unconstitutional bill be placed when y'all had the perfect bill to begin with. The perfect bill. It gave us open carry without permits. It gave us free training, and it gave severe punishment for anybody committing a crime with a gun. And yet, then you got Lowe, who don't care because he just want his name on the bill. I pushed this through. Well, if you've been pushing for 18 years, then why the did you let Nikki Haley get rid of open carry? That was less than 18 years ago. Anybody got some other ideas that we could do besides calling our representatives? Hell, I might walk around Florence and get a petition of a revote for Mr. Lowe. He'd rather have a 14th Amendment violation law on the books because he's old as fuck. See, that's the problem what's going on right now. We got these old fuckers that's from the damn 70s. Peace, no war type of bullshit. And these people thinking that gun's only meant for hunting. Yes, shotguns do pretty good in self-defense in a house because, you can clear a hallway pretty good. But look at what happened in Portland not too long ago, guys. That wasn't no peaceful protest. Never in my life have I ever seen a peaceful protest where when the end of the protest, it was left burning. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to walk around Florence. Yeah, I'm going to try to do that on the weekends because I work for a living. I'm going to be going to work here pretty soon. That's why you don't see a lot of videos because, all right, later. I'll keep you up to date. That's just ridiculous, guys, that we have a representative that rather the state gets sued and let us taxpayers pay for it. Yeah, I'm going to do the collected interviews, collected in calm. He woke me up. That was the issue. I was asleep. I normally don't get up until about noon because I don't have to be at work until 2, until 11. Yeah, I got woken up with him saying that he'll violate the Constitution, and he don't give a damn because he ain't got to pay for it. So, if this bill does get passed with Amendment 36 on it, anybody who voted for it, should be removed from office for violating the Constitution. That is my honest opinion. Anybody who votes for it, and every senator who voted to put the amendment in needs to be removed from office because it's an unconstitutional amendment inside the bill because it's not equal protection underneath the law. And that's the only thing I asked for them to remove was Amendment 36. Nothing else. You still get the free training. You still get other shit. But based on the fact that if you didn't have a concealed carry permit and you get pulled over and they see the gun in there and they ask for your concealed permit and you say, I don't have one, get another fucking charge. They can't ask you for the permit, but if something happens and you got to give up your ID because you committed a crime, I think it's bullshit because the Supreme Court ruled that we ain't supposed to give up our ID unless we commit a crime or suspected to commit a crime. or in the process of committing a crime. And yet they seem to think that a traffic violation, which is not a criminal offense, by the way, that they can automatically get your ID because you signed for it. Let me ask you something. Did the founding fathers ever ask permission to use the roadways with their wagons? No. So why all of a sudden, when you put an engine on it, you have to ask permission to use the free public highways and roadways? We pay for the roads. It's public property. I understand people like, oh, well, we got to know if they know how to drive. Okay. Well, back in the day, did they know that person knew how to operate a horse and buggy? Because last time I checked, a horse has got its own fucking mind. It can just take off running whenever the fuck it wanted to. But yeah, something that doesn't have a mind of its own, you have to have permission to use it. And based on Bruin, every single gun law has been found unconstitutional, except for the felons. Because, oh, well, not really felons, but violent felons. Because let me see how the founding fathers kind of put it. One of the founding fathers said, what consists of people who gets their Second Amendment rights taken away is people of war, meaning they always want to fight, and go to war no matter what. You could think of PTSD type deal. People with bloodied hands means murder, and people that doesn't have a sound mind, criminally insane. Those are the three criterias. If you did something wrong, that they could take your Second Amendment away. Yeah, Benghazi Rabbit. I don't know if you live in South Carolina or not, Halls, because you know you did Virginia, not Virginia, but North Carolina and South Carolina videos. If you live in South Carolina, call your local representative and tell them to remove Amendment 36 from the open carry bill. It is a violation of the 14th Amendment because it's not equal protection underneath the law. Yeah, you're in. Okay. But yeah, that's what we're having here in South Carolina also. We got an open carry bill that was pushed back to the representatives from the Senate, and the Senate put in an unconstitutional. So I started calling my local representatives, and Representative Mitchell, which is in Darlington County area, he clearly stated that he's not having it. He won't vote for it. He would rather have this bill and no bill. And I made mention that Amendment 36 is unconstitutional because it's not equal protection underneath the law, and that state could be sued. He says, well, the state gets sued all the time. Like a tyrant. I was like, but that's people like me who's got to pay for it. He goes, well, yeah. But he didn't care. He'd rather for us taxpayers pay for his fuck up. And as he sees it, it's not his fuck up because it's the Senate's fuck up. Because the Senate's the one who put the Amendment 36 in. But you have an opportunity to remove 36 and send it back to the Senate. He's worried that if they do that, the bill would. Well, here's my answer to you, Mr. Lowe. I'm going to petition for a revote for you, since you want to hold unconstitutional rulings. And if that doesn't work, I'll make sure that I pop up to every one of your campaigns and ask that question that I did last time and let you openly speak on the bullshit that came out of your mouth. Talking about, yeah, Benghazi, if you want to do a video, find out where the fuck Lowe's at, Representative Lowe. and have your little sign up so he can see it. And if you do, let me know. I might be able to join you because, I work Monday through Friday nowadays. It's kind of hard for me to get out and do videos. So since I can't get out there and do videos, I'm actually been sitting here in front of this computer. Well, in front of my computer. I'm not in front of it now. And point y'all in the right direction. How about that? And do some live streams here and there and talk about the situations of South Carolina. All right, I think I've vented enough. But please, if you live in South Carolina and you watch my videos, call your local representatives and tell them, remove Amendment 36 or we remove you. It's as simple as that. Because that's what we have the power to do. Because remember, in the Constitution, it clearly states that we're allowed to remove tyrannical government out of office and set up a new. No, I ain't talking about running in there, kicking the door down and dragging his ass out on a rail. Back in the day, that would have been acceptable. But we're not heathens no more. So we got to do it other ways, like put a petition out for a revote, which I ain't mistaken for his area. I think you need about 2,000 votes. I got to look into the local laws. Or just don't vote for him again. For 18 years, he says he's been fighting this bill, but he doesn't need to fight it no more. You got Brewin. As soon as you mention Brewin and the Senate don't care and they still want to keep doing it, call the Attorney General of the state. Charge them for violating their oath. Simple as that, guys. But y'all don't want to hold each other accountable no more because Republicans are better than Democrats. No, we need to take a page out of their book. Every time they do something fucking illegal, call our ass out on it and press charges on them like they did Trump. That's what they was hoping to do. They was hoping to tie up Trump in court so he couldn't campaign. Mighty funny, none of those charges passed until election year. This is what the Democrats are doing. So, let's take a page out of their book and start holding them accountable like we should have freaking Hillary Clinton. You know how many American soldiers died in Benghazi because of that woman? How American citizens died because of that woman? She knew 2 weeks in advance that it was going to happen, but she told nobody. That she had that server in a mom and pop store. That China got all the information out of it. Every time an email got sent through it, they got a copy. She did that. And then when they asked her to show all the evidence, she bleach bit it, which is the destruction of evidence. And yet, if we did something like that, we'd be in jail for 25 years. We'd be lucky to see the light of day. So, we need to quit holding up the higher morals of what this country should be and remove the Democrat Party, period. Let's look what the Democrat Party has done for this country. They voted and started a civil war because they wanted to keep their slaves down here. Yes, look at the history. The Democrats ran the South during the Civil War. Democrats started the KKK. Democrats started Planned Parenthood. And I quote for the bitch that ran it before she went to prison. She started it to kill black babies. That's the only reason she did it. They voted against blacks to vote. They voted against women to vote. They voted against desegregation. And I can't remember who freaking said it, but I think it was one of those FBI directors who actually said it eventually. Or it was Reagan 1 or 2. that he said he stopped the democracy push because this is a republic and democracy only leads to dictatorship. Remember that. This ain't a democracy here. This is a republic. And a republic, the people speak. In a democracy, it's a mob rule. So if you get control over the schools like the Democrats have, because if you look, almost every school district is run by a freaking Democrat, and brainwash the youngins. Hell, if I ain't mistaken, one of the guys that was in Obama's little cabinet, he was a black guy, he clearly stated that we need to brainwash the children from every age that guns are not necessary. That was his exact freaking words. The word brainwash came out of his mouth. Your kids are getting brainwashed in public schools. This is what the Democratic people want. That's why they're called Democrats, because they want democracy, which is a mob rule mentality, and then always, and I repeat, always, and in a dictatorship. Don't believe me? Look at Rome. They were a democracy. And then all of a sudden, Julius Caesar gets full in charge because he had the votes, which is a democracy thing. And he became a dictator. Germany was a democracy before World War II. And then when Hitler got a hold of it, it became a dictatorship. Throughout history, every democracy has ended in dictatorship. This is a republic. Remember it. The Democrats and the Democrat Party needs to go. All they want to do is remove the Constitution. And the first step they have to start with is the Second Amendment, because if they try to touch anything else, us with the Second Amendment, we'll hold them accountable. Remember that. That's what they're pushing for, is a civil war. I don't know if y'all noticed, but a person in Kentucky finally got fed up with him not doing shit in Texas, and he was going to go down there and shoot Mexicans and Border Patrol both. The things that go pew pew and some things that go bang bang, and boom. And the FBI ended up arresting his ass for that, which I'm kind of glad they did, because the Second Amendment people, we don't need that kind of publicity. And stupid shit like that is what the government's trying to do. They're trying to, well, the Democrats, they're trying to push such a bad situation that later down the line they can just come save us from. Remember, it was Trump who gave us the free money. It was Trump who actually got the vaccine pushed out. But instead of waiting and seeing what happened, as soon as Biden got in office, he threw that shit straight out in the public saying he did it. And what happened? People got cerebral palsy. Some people had strokes. Some people just straight up died from these vaccines. And then they tried to blame Trump for it. Let's not forget that the Obama people in 2014 put kids in cages. Then when Trump came into play 2 years later, he did it. It was his fault. This is what I'm talking about, guys. And I'm not trying to be racist, guys, but you black folk need to open your fucking eyes and quit voting for Democrats, because Democrats is giving you free money through food stamps, which, by the way, was created by Reagan, which was a Republican, through WIC, through TANFA, whatever the hell they call it nowadays, welfare. They don't want you to go to work. They don't want you to have a stable family with a mother and a father figure in the same household. They don't want you to do that. They want to keep you down. And it's the Democrats who's always voted for it. I don't understand why y'all keep voting Democrats. Did you know that Martin Luther King Jr. was a Republican? Did you know that? Did you know Abraham Lincoln, who, freed the slaves, was a Republican? Did you know Reagan, who I think it was during Reagan's time, was the women's rights to vote? Republican. The president that was in office, I can't remember which one it was, that they wrote into law that blacks are the same as every other person, was a Republican. Republicans gave you freedom all the way down the line, all the way down to being black woman and getting the same education as the white folk. All Republican. And yet you want to vote for the people who voted against it? Why? Because they tell you lies that you like to hear and never fulfill them? Obama promised to build a border wall. Don't get me wrong, the Republicans did their stupid shit and said no because it came out of Democrats' mouth. Then Trump came in and he says, you know what, I'm going to continue that border wall. I'm going to make sure it gets built, even against his own party. And what happens? He gets called a racist. Black man can't be racist? Sorry, it's not racist to have a secure border. It's not. You know, we have the most relaxed immigration laws in the world. Did you know if you want to move to Australia, you have to live on one of their islands for years before you're even allowed to move onto the mainland? Japan, you can't move there. It won't let you. Oh, even in Japan, there's racism there too. Because there's certain places you're not allowed to go because you're not Japanese.
Two things. One, are you riding with me today?
Probably not, because I don't know if it's just orientation or not.
Okay. Two, which one of these animals is fucking sick?
What are you talking about?
In the bathroom. Holy shit, it's pure black.
That was probably Dixie, because she just had her puppies.
It's pure black.
Yeah. She probably had to hold it. It absorbed all the vitamins and everything out of her poop, and that's what ends up making it look black. Or it could have been in blood because, she had puppies, making it look black. Sorry, guys. Somebody wants a... He's fine.
Huh?
He's fine. This world needs to wake the fuck up. And if you want to wake up the quickest, listen to some Tom McDonald. He'll tell you everything that's going on and how he feels about it. Don't believe me? He just made a song with Ben Superior. Yeah, Ben Superior rapping, dude. First and only time he'll ever do it, but he did a good job. Now, if Nova, his girl, can turn around and get Candace Owens to do a song with her, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I don't understand it, guys. I really don't. I look around this world, this country. I see people on the street talking about the same things I'm talking about, but yet when they go to the polls, they vote for the fucker who doesn't want it. So back to my original statement. If you live in the state of South Carolina, call your local representatives to remove Amendment 36. Remove Amendment 36 from the open carry bill. Then after that, when it hits the Senate, call your local Senate in your area and tell them if they put in Amendment 36 again, we'll remove them from fucking office. We will never have them in office again. Something tells me it's Greenville and Charleston area who probably put that amendment in there. How much you want to bet? Because Greenville is run by the Democrats. See, there's nobody in here. I don't give a damn. I'm going to still talk. You know, South Carolinians, we used to take no shit from nobody. Nobody. We fought in the Revolutionary War. The South did. And if it wasn't for us, we wouldn't have won the Civil War. I mean, Revolutionary War. Don't get me wrong, the South Carolinians was the first to start the Civil War. But, you know, and that's because we was run by Democrats. But we took no shit from nobody. So why are we doing it now? Look at our heritage. We, as a country, was built on rebellion. And yet, they want to call January 6th an insurrection, which, by the way, Trump was found innocent on, because they saw footage of police officers yanking people through the doorway inside the building. FBI agents outside pushing people to go in. Nancy Pelosi, who had control of the Capitol Police, was told to stand down and don't do anything. Then you have Portland, which they screaming down was a peaceful protest. Half the city got fucking burnt. If I'm mistaken, that was where Zimmerman shot somebody with an AR-15. Who pointed one at him? That's why we need AR-15s. That's why we need what y'all classified as assault weapons with high magazine capacity. When the mob rule starts walking down our streets and telling us to give up our riches, to give to them because they say so, is the day they meet a muzzle. That's the country we need to go back to. Do you think all them people who expanded to the West we call the cowboy era, do you think they had to ask permission to carry a gun? No. Do you think during the Civil War era they took people's guns? No. During the Revolutionary War, the only people who actually they took the guns, which later down the line was found unconstitutional, was anybody who wouldn't swear loyalty to the Constitutional Army. They didn't want to go fight a battlefield and worry about their backs. This country was never be built without the Second Amendment, without guns. And for all you naysayers out there talking about, oh, you can't own a cannon. Yes, you can. In the Revolutionary War, the government didn't own the cannons, the regular folk did. In the Civil War, the government didn't own cannons, the regular folk did. You know how I know this? Because we didn't have a standing army until after World War I. So where do you think all those arms came from? The people. So, please, Open your eyes. Listen very carefully. The government wants you to ask permission for everything. Everything. Because you know what's going to happen next after they take the guns? They're going to take our camping knives, our hunting knives, our machetes. Don't believe me? Look what the fuck is happening in the UK. They're all like, oh my God, I can't believe how easy it is to go get a knife. They don't even check your ID to see if you're old enough. Give you a good idea. The reason why chopsticks was invented is the person who demanded that chopsticks had to be used. He believed that every person is naturally evil, so you can't trust them with a fork and knife. So that's why a lot of the Asian areas eat with chopsticks, because they even took the forks and steak knives away from these people. I want y'all to understand that once the Second Amendment's gone, that's the next step. Our knives, our machetes, probably our axes. Because you can put all the gun laws you want into play. The laws are there for honest, law abiding citizens. And you just make it harder for the rest of us to get guns to defend ourselves, because criminals who don't follow the law will get it anyways. So, like, subscribe,